My grandfather once looked at me and said, "Never save money." I was completely shocked. Everyone always tells us to save our money for the future. But my grandfather smiled and said, "No, do not just save your money. You must learn to make your money grow." To help me understand, he told me a story. Many years ago, in a small village, there lived an old man. People in the village called him lazy because he did not work. Every single day, he just sat under a big tree, looked at the clouds, and dreamed of being rich. His wife worked very hard. She cleaned the house, washed the clothes, and cooked the food. One evening, she sat next to him and said gently, "My dear, dreams are beautiful, but dreams cannot fill our empty stomachs. We need real money, and we need real work." But the old man only smiled and said, "Someday I will find a way." Months passed, and the family became very poor. One dark night, his little grandson came to him. The boy had no shoes on his feet, and he looked very thin, tired, and hungry. The little boy asked softly, "Grandpa, do we have any bread tonight?" The grandmother walked to the kitchen and slowly opened the wooden cupboard. It was completely empty. There was no bread, no rice, and absolutely nothing to eat. The old man felt a deep pain in his heart. That night, he could not sleep at all. He turned in his bed again and again with a heavy mind. He finally understood a big lesson. Dreams are nice, but dreams alone cannot feed a hungry family. In the morning, he did something he had never done before. He walked out of the house to find a job. He became a farm worker in the fields. The sun was extremely hot, the dry land was dusty, and he had to work for many long hours. He lifted heavy tools. His back hurt, his feet burned on the hot ground, and his hands became very rough and hard. Every night, he came back home feeling completely tired and weak, but he was proud that he finally worked. When he got home, his grandson asked, "Grandpa, what did you get today?" The old man proudly showed a few tiny coins. He said, "It is very little, but it is something." They used the coins to buy a tiny bowl of beans for dinner. But soon he realized a sad truth. Money came and money quickly went away. Food finished and the roof still leaked. Then one day at the village store, he heard a man say, "The secret is saving money. When you save your coins, you are safe." These words stayed in his mind. That night, the grandfather found an empty glass jar and hid it under his bed. Every week, he slowly put a few small coins inside. The sound of clink, clink made him feel happy and full of hope. But saving was not easy at all. He wore old, broken shoes with holes. They did not buy any new clothes, and they ate much less food. Sometimes their dinner plates were almost empty. Still, the grandfather refused to spend even one single saved coin. Months passed, and the glass jar finally became completely full of coins. The old grandfather felt incredibly proud and safe. He held the heavy jar in his hands, looked at his family, and said, "Do not worry anymore. This jar is our tomorrow." The next day, they went to the market to buy 3 big sacks of corn. But the shopkeeper shook his head and said, "I am sorry, old man. Prices went up. This jar of money can only buy half of what it used to buy." The grandfather was shocked. His saved money had lost its value. Everything felt heavy again. That evening, he sat outside and saw his neighbors walking past. One carried fresh milk and another carried fresh eggs. They looked peaceful. Suddenly, a small, brilliant idea came to him. He looked at his grandson and asked, "What if we buy chickens?" This time, he did not wait for someday. He acted immediately. He took his saved money and bought a few small chickens. His grandson laughed and ran happily around them in the yard. At first, they got 1 egg, then 2. They ate some and sold the rest. With the new money, they bought another chicken, and then another. Slowly, their small business grew. The grandfather wrote every single coin they earned in a small notebook. One day, he held an egg and told his grandson, "This egg is more powerful than a jar of money. Money can finish, but if you use it to build something, it grows like life. So never just save your money, my child. Make your money grow."